Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we have a kind of bonus video, but I know it's something a lot of you like to see, which is an empties video. I'm also going to be going through my kind of stash of products from my sort of makeup bag, my hair drawer, and other areas around the house where I have my sort of personal use items, because I am on a mission to start using stuff up before I purchase any new stuff. And I have to admit that on my chest of drawers, which we will go over to after I've done the empties, the only things that I've left in the bathroom are my cleansers. But I've got a little cabinet in the bathroom and some shelves, and I've kind of bought things from there into the bedroom, put them on the chest of drawers, just so that I can kind of get my head around and see what I've got, and anything that I may be running out of soon, although it doesn't look as if I'm going to be running out of anything anytime soon, so that's all good. And then I'm going to show you my perfume collection. It's not particularly huge. I would like it to be. Yeah, I could definitely be a fragrance YouTuber, but I don't really kind of like know enough when it comes to notes and things like that. But I am really into fragrance, I have to say. But yeah, it's quite a curated collection, purely because a lot of what I've had for quite some time, and I just don't want to run out of it. So most of the bottles have a little bit left in them of my most favourite perfumes, but we'll go through that shortly. So let's do the empties. So I've got everything in this bag, and oh, let's start with that little purple one. So this was a sample of a scent called Valleya Exclusive, and you will see when I do my perfume collection that I've got a bottle of Valleya by Parfums de Marly, but they tend to do flankers of these perfumes, and the exclusive is a flanker of the original, and it's absolutely divine, is the only way I can describe it. I absolutely love that. But that sample is empty, so that one can go. Next up, I've got another mini, and this, I don't know how you say this, it's Ouai. I've not really heard anybody pronounce that. And that is a hair oil. As you can see, that's a sample size that's probably come in a gift set at some point that I've had, or one of these beauty boxes that I love. And I really liked that hair oil. So the Kerastase, which I absolutely adore, that I'm using at the moment, this would come a close second. I don't think this is super cheap, but I think it's cheaper than Kerastase, and I really liked it. So yeah, I would recommend it, and I would buy it again if funds permitted. Oh, another hair item. Now, I had two of these in my kitchen drawer where I keep my hair stuff, and I've used this one up because they both had some in it. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, whether I've decanted some at some point, I don't know. But at my local Boots, they've done away with a lot of brands that they used to sell, and it seems it's only this one or the Lee Stafford in the pink when it comes to heat defeat protecting spray. So something you're going to spray on your hair before you use any any heat on your hair. So I just tend to stick with this one now. It's perfectly fine. It's not my favourite, but that's something that I buy in conjunction with my Boots Scan to Recycle. So yes, would I repurchase? 100%, because I don't have a lot of option in that particular Boots. So we would get that one again. Next up, I have one of the Mitchum deodorants, which I have started using all the time now, without aluminium, which I feel is important to me. One of you lovely subscribers mentioned about the amount that gets left inside. Well, I've picked that out with my fingers, and then I roll it in a ball and I rub it under my armpits. But there's still some below the plastic that's in the top. So I'm not sure if we can get that plastic out. You probably can, but somebody said to me in the comments that they get it all out, they microwave it, and then they shape it back into one of these. But yeah, I'm super lazy. I just flick it out with my finger and rub it under my armpits because I don't want the waste. But I need to look at it a little bit better and maybe get that plastic out. And perhaps I'll start doing that. Perhaps I should. We won't throw that one on the floor. We'll keep that one. And another hair item, the hairspray that I've used since 2018. And I know that to be true because I bought it before I went on holiday to Zante with one of my friends. And this is the Frizzies Moisture Barrier Hairspray Intense Hold. Locks out frizz for 24-hour hold with keratin. This is the only time I've been on holiday when I bought this, that my hair didn't go frizzy when it was super hot. So I've stuck with it ever since. I use it all the time, whether I'm on holiday or not. So yeah, I've got 2 small ones of these, which I bought on a 3 for 2 in the drawer downstairs. So I don't need to buy one of these, but that is indeed an empty. Next up, a body product. This is the Vitamin E Skincare by Superdrug. The 360 Spray On All Over Body Lotion for 12-hour moisturisation, rich in natural vitamin E, high in antioxidants, defends the skin against environmental damage for normal to dry skin. Now, I bought this, I was influenced. I saw somebody on Instagram recommend this and I bought it on a buy one get one or buy one get one half price at the end of last summer. As the temperatures began to cool, I stopped using it because when you spray it on your body, it's freezing. So I have been using them up, but I should have used them and got rid of them all when we had like the 3 heat waves that we've had this year. But I've only used one and I've still got some in another one, which you will see when I show you my body lotion collection, which needs to be worked through. So would I buy it again? Yes, I think it's great in really hot temperatures. And because you can spray it all over your body, it's quicker to apply, even though you've then got to rub it in. But the fact that the spray works when you're trying to spray it on your back and up the back of your legs and that kind of thing, I definitely think it's worth a purchase. But don't use it in winter because it will be freezing cold. That's my advice on that one. Next up, we have used up a face serum. This was more recent, so I remember where this one came from. It was from the Boots Mother's Day box. And I really like Ren products, but Ren are going to cease to exist, and I'm not 100% sure why, which I think is sad because they do a jelly cleanser, which I really do like as well. Not had it for an awful long time, but I've had it a few times in the past. And I also like their sort of glow tonic as well. So those are 2 products, the only 2 I've probably really used from the brand. So this has been used up, and this is the Ren Marine Moisture Restore Serum, suitable for, God, I cannot read, it's so small. Oh, sensitive and eczema prone skin. My skin is neither sensitive, and I've only had eczema once, and that was in an armpit. So, but perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Next up, a number 7 product. This came in a set. When I was doing my scan to recycle at one point, I think I was getting a lip liner and brow gel from number 7. And I think it was if you spent so much, you got this box with some freebies in. And this is one of them. I've still got the cleanser in the bathroom to be used up at some point soon. And this is the Hydroluminous Overnight recovery gel cream, and that was a 25ml. You know, and I like number 7 skincare. I think there's a lot of science behind what they do. So would I buy it again? Yeah, depending on the price. You know, like I always say, at the end of the day, if you haven't got a lot of money, skincare doesn't have to be expensive. You can pick up Q10 creams from Aldi for £1.49 for a day and night cream. But yes, I would buy it again. Perfectly adequate facial moisturiser if you like number 7. Next up, this was given to me by a friend, so this would have been quite spenny. It is by Jane Shrivner. The writing has all come off. So this was kind of like a makeup remover, which you could use as a first cleanse and then wash your face for the second. Now, my friend gave it to me because it made her eyes sting. It also made my eyes sting, so I couldn't actually remove eye makeup with it. But for the rest of the makeup, I did use it up. And I've only had one product from this brand before, Jane Shrivner, and that was the cleansing balm. And across all price points, because it's not cheap, her cleansing balm would be at number 1 for me. My God, it smells divine. And I had it for Christmas way before I moved in here. One of my daughters got me a pack of them, and you had 2 sizes of cleansing balms in this pack. Absolutely divine. I might even put it on this year's birthday and Christmas list, because I've got a December birthday. I tend to do one big list, and that way people can choose from a huge array of items, and then I still end up with surprises. That's how we always do it in my family. That's how we've always done it. So yeah, so would I repurchase that? Definitely not. It would be too expensive. It makes my eyes sting, and I prefer to wash my face with a cleansing balm to get rid of my makeup and SPF, and then I do a second cleanse with a different cleanser. As you guys may know, if you saw my skincare video back at the end of April. Next in the bag, we have, another deodorant. I found this. I think I bought this at the airport. My bag's falling over. When I went on my free holiday. Well, it wasn't free because I had to pay for my flights. But I've mentioned before, last September, my daughter said, oh, we paid for an apartment. We don't want to stay in it anymore. You can have it. And I think I bought that at the airport for some reason. I think I remembered that maybe I hadn't put one in my bag, or maybe I was feeling a bit hot, I don't know. But I recently found it and I thought that needs using up, so I've used it up. And it's not the aluminium free one like I'm currently using of theirs. It is just powder fresh. Yeah, I mean, whether you're bothered about aluminium or not, you can't go wrong with Mitchum, can you? So that's that one. And then next on the list, this lasted me absolutely ages, this shower gel, but it is quite a big one, 500ml, and I do use a sponge in the shower, so you kind of like don't need too much. But if you're on a budget, and especially if you've got, you know, a family, this would be really worth getting. It's the Cousins Pure Nourishing Shea Butter and Honey Shower Cream, and I paid 99p for that in Home Bargains. That one came from, so I don't know if they do it elsewhere, but that was definitely worth getting, without a doubt. And then the final empty that I have today, yep, bag is empty, so they can all go downstairs for the scan to recycle now, is the La Roche-Posay, and this is an anti-shine mist spray, invisible easy application. So this is a factor 50, water resistant, apply over makeup, sensitive. Yeah, I can read that it says sensitive skin, so it's that one. I bought this before that September holiday last year. I spent some of my Boots points on sun care, and this was one of the things that I got. I think this is about 16 quid, so it's more expensive than the Ombre Solaire over makeup spray that I usually buy. but it had some left in it, and I've recently used it up just to, yeah, try and edit down the amount of stock of things that I've got. So that is the final item in my empties. So let me know if I've showed you anything you've used, or what you think about it, or if you've got any further questions about anything that I've shown you. But with this, would I purchase it again? Yes, I would, because I trust the brand La Roche-Posay. Really, really good brand, but quite a considerable amount more expensive than the Ombre Solaire Factor 50 over makeup spray. So those are my August empties. So before I move over to the chest of drawers, this sits on the chest of drawers. I wanted to go through this with you. So this bag is what the Marks and Spencer's Christmas advent calendar came in, which I think if you spend a certain amount of money, you can purchase the advent calendar for something like £35. Figures may be incorrect, but yeah, something like that. And I was gifted this complete advent calendar, and I've got some bits in here, so I just wanted to kind of like show you what I've got, because this is where I keep all my samples. So if I were to run out of any kind of face cream or anything like that, then I've got loads of backups. But I kind of wanted to go through it, because I've also got some minis that either came in this advent calendar or that came in the Boots Mother's Day box. So I've got a Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cream. So again, keep these little ones, perfect for holidays and travel. I have also got, that's a hair product. I really should try and use that, because I'm terrible with hair masks. This is the Aveda Botanical Repair Intensive Strengthening Mask. God, you can't read half of it, but it's that anyway. I used to use something from Aveda many years ago when I worked in London. It was in a blue or purplish coloured spray bottle, and it was something that you sprayed on your hair. It smelt lovely. I don't know what it was called. I don't even know if they still do it, but that's given me a blast from the past seeing that. I've got a Skin Cuticles serum sample there, which you've probably seen when I go through my freebies. I tend to keep the cardboard bits that they come with, just because it tells you about the product, and as I'm using it, I feel that that may be useful. And what else have I got in here? Oh, I've got some more samples there. Elizabeth Arden ceramide capsules, they may be, can't read it. And I love that. Haven't bought that for ages, but I've had it in the past. Lovely for holidays, just to give a little bit of a glow to the skin when you're going out in the evening. So these would have come in either this Marks's advent calendar. They must have come from the, yeah, I don't think these came out of the Boots Mother's Day box. I have got a calming bath and shower gel and a calming body lotion by Cowshed. I've never used any of their products, but I know they're super popular. But they would be perfect for holiday as well. Got some more sample packs in here. Oh, I've got a sample of that in a packet. And this is a, I remember this. I've got an Avene moisturiser. And this is Superdrug from their B range. And this is called Menopause Comforting Sleep Cream. So with the sleep creams, basically they're just a moisturiser. I've said this before, but it's just a moisturiser you put on before bed. I don't know who came up with the term of sleep cream, but a lot of brands are now using that term. Peptides and something, microalgae. So small, but I managed to read that. The funny story behind this, when the free sample was advertised, My middle daughter is very much like me when it comes to bagging a bargain, getting a freebie. She buys she has coffee every day when she goes to work, but she will do it through buying gift cards and getting cash back. Yeah, she's really good like that. We're very similar. And I know one of my other daughters once said, oh God, don't want to go shopping with mum and middle daughter. Oh God, what a nightmare that is. Them looking for all the bargains. It's quite funny. I'll never forget that. But anyway, what happened, I sent her the link to this cream. And she came back to me and said, I can't get that cream. It's for when you're going through the menopause. And I said, it is just a moisturiser. Get your freebie, get your sample. It's just a moisturiser. So, yeah, I think she did get it in the end. So, yeah, that's the kind of... Oh, and I've got also... Sorry, I missed two things. Again, travel sizes. Don't know where these came from. A Wella Ultimate Repair shampoo and a Wella Ultimate Repair deep conditioner. But, again, they'd be the perfect size for a holiday. So, they will probably remain in there until I have another holiday. So, I just wanted to go through that bag with you. I tend to keep travel stuff in like my suitcase or a travel bag just so I can see what mini sized toiletries I may have from a previous holiday that are part used. So I could do with transferring some of those things out of this bag into that, ready for a holiday that hopefully I might get next year. We shall see. So that is the bag. Now on to the chest of drawers top. I think I need a drink. So I've got two kitchen drawers that have been commandeered for, one for makeup and things and the other one for hair stuff. In the makeup drawer we have the everyday makeup bag. That's just a mirror. So thinking about using up things that I have got before we purchase any new stuff. I'm using up the facial SPF sprays that I have. These go over makeup, so that's super handy. And then I would say in here are things that I use every day, but that isn't strictly true because I've had this Charlotte Tilbury. I don't even remember what it's called. You can see the writing's rubbed off. I think it's something you can use completely over your face under makeup. I've always used it more as like a highlighter, but I'm a bit old for highlighter now. So yeah, throw that at the back. I used to use this every single day of the year, 365 days of the year, in fact, in case you didn't know how many days there were in a year. Oh my goodness. And this is also something that goes underneath makeup, or you can wear it on its own as well. Comes in a few different colours, but I've always used Sunny Flash, but I'm not using it at all now. Yeah, just don't seem to bother, so that saved me some money. Mascaras, I've got 3 on the go in here, which we need to use up before. I've got that from Christmas, brand new, not even used. This Hourglass one was a Christmas gift. It was on my Christmas list because I had used a sample of this and really liked it. My lashes are really short and sparse, and mascara smudges a lot on me, but that was really good. So we're kind of using that one up. And what else have we got in here? Oh yeah, so the 2 other mascaras on the go. There's a Bobbi Brown Smoky Eye mini one, and this one is what I'm currently using every day. Again, quite good, quite like that one. That's the reduced foundation that I feel is a little bit dark for me, but you guys all said that I didn't look like an Oompa Loompa, so that's okay. And that's still got a little bit in it, but that is my favourite foundation, so I'm keeping hold of that. This is another foundation, but in a stick. And this was also bought for me for Christmas last year. I really like it. And this is the trouble, I feel like I don't want to run out of things. But yeah, that needs using. And then obviously makeup brushes. My everyday lipstick is in here. Another lipstick there, eyeliner there. That's a bit dark. That's kind of like a lipstick. Cum liner. I'd probably use that more if I was going out in the evening. It's a little bit dark. That came in some sort of gift set thing. So that's the makeup bag, eyebrow pencil, eyebrow gel, blusher, bronzer. Not a lot going on there. This makeup bag at the back, I've also got one of those sunny flashes. That's more what I class as like my holiday makeup bag. I've got two really tiny, my favourite lip liner, the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. But because when you're away, you don't use a lot of it, so I've got those in there. Things like a mini bronzer. It's a Milk makeup one, you can see that's really tiny. Got concealer in there. Never really wear concealer. But yeah, a few bits in there. Little tiny compact that's got a mirror in it. That's a mini of a powder. And then we have also in this drawer the Nivea, because sometimes I take my eye makeup off early in the evening. And then we've got some perfumes, so not my kind of best collection. In here I keep the samples that I get when I apply for samples that come through the post. I keep those in that little makeup bag there. I tend to use these ones just as everyday if I'm going out to the supermarket or something. I've got a Marks and Spencer's one of my daughters gave me that. Soft Iris, smells exactly like Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel, but there's no longevity to it. It really does smell the same, but it just doesn't last at all. And then I've got BDK, that is a niche fragrance, but that's a sample size. Tuberose Imperial, because I have realised in latter years I do like tuberose in my scents. A couple of those that should be in the drawer. That's got tuberose in it as well. Really like that. And that's kind of a classic, really. A bit like Chanel No. 5, isn't it? Another Marks' one. And that one is a dupe of, I think it's Alien. Velvet Amber. That's a dupe for Alien. So yeah, that's one of the kitchen drawers. So yeah, we've got to endeavour to use up the mascaras in here and the foundations. And then the hair drawer, loads of brushes, some of which have been, I should give these to my daughters because I'm never going to use them. Bought that ages ago. A couple of hairsprays, the hair oil, which I love. Heat protection sprays, that one's got some in it which I didn't realise, so that needs using up. Some in there. An empty bottle for just decanting. Oh, that's to clean my makeup brushes with. And I moved out and didn't bring my hairdryer, and I got that in Sainsbury's for about £7 last year. That does the trick. I usually let my hair dry naturally, but in the winter it needs a bit of help sometimes because it can be wet for like 4 hours. So again, nothing in here that really needs using up other than that hair mask. I rarely put hair masks on. I'm just super lazy with hair masks. So yeah, stuff in there to use up. So down here you can see that I keep my body lotions in this plastic thing next to my bed on the bedside table, because I tend to sit on the bed and put my body lotion on. And I keep buying the Dove, and I've got a stock of body lotions that I really need to use up. I can see the Sanctuary one was in a Christmas gift. The Aveeno one was from, I'm not sure, the Marks and Spencer's or the Mother's Day box. I don't know. The Vaseline one, the lid doesn't close properly, so I should probably use that. There's a Body Works one that came in a gift set. And there is a Superdrug Vitamin E spray one, which I'm currently using So project pan, get all of these used up before I buy any more body lotions. Right, so before we get on to the perfumes, which are over that side, let's go through the skincare. Now, I got a lot of this stuff out of the bathroom, so I could see exactly what I had, so that I know what I've got to use up. So the only things that I left in the bathroom were cleansers that I wash my face with. Everything else is in here. So I've got 2 No. 7 cleansing balms. I have got a Ren Gentle cleansing milk there, so they need using up. Moisturiser wise, I've got a Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, which I paid £10 for on one of the Facebook groups I'm in. And I do tend to buy a lot of things on there, especially when it comes to expensive things that I can get super cheap. Only, of course, if I've got the money in the self-care sinking fund, of course. And then moisturiser wise, the Murad, that's in use. And then this Urage, whatever that is, repairing gel cream. I don't really need any repairing. I don't know where that came from, because I don't recall buying it. So whether that came in a set, I don't know. This moisturiser came in this was the Boots one, the Boots Mother's Day box. So the Grown Alchemist, perfectly fine moisturiser. And then I have got my eye products. This will soon be an empty, but not quite in the August empties. So the First Aid eye cream, perfectly adequate. And then the Inky List, a really good brand, retinol eye cream, so I tend to use that one at night. Then I've got a Boots cucumber eye gel, great for daytime, especially puffy eyes. And I've got a Votary eye cream or serum that I've not even used yet. So plenty to work through there. And then facial serums, you would have seen that I bought the Olay Super Serum on the Amazon Prime. And that's upside down. The Kate Somerville that one of my daughters picked me up in TK Maxx for $5.99. Then I've got my kind of toners. I've got an Elemis spray toner that came in an Elemis kit, not last year, the year before, I think. And I'm only just using it up. Every October, November time, Elemis do a fabulous gift set for about 50-60 quid with loads of products in it, and it's available on QVC. And I bought it for quite a few years running, and I think I found that in a cupboard and I'm using it up. Other than that is the Superdrug Vitamin E facial spray, the Botanics behind, which is the AHA Glow Toner, which I apply first and then spray with a mist. I have got Omoveritsa Queen of Hungary spray there, and that's what is also in the decant bottle. That is a Claire de Peau soothing essence or something. That needs using up. And then I've got a couple of facial oils. This is really old. The Biosense 100% Squalane oil, which I really like. You can use it on body and hair as well. And then behind that, this came in the Boots Mother's Day gift set. I've got a No. 7 facial oil. So that is my stash of skincare that needs working through. Nothing else will be bought until these things have been used up. So this is Project Pan. This is what we're going to do. Let's move on to the perfume collection. Right, so let's go over to the other side and show you what we have here. So as I said, not an extensive collection, but a highly curated collection of perfumes, I would say. Now, some of these, the majority of them, are what in the trade they call niche fragrances. So they are a higher price point than your Chanel's, for example, or your Armani, whatever. But brands like Armani have a niche range. So do Lancome, so do Dior. So apart from, say, Dior, Mademoiselle, yeah, they do a range of more expensive perfumes, which are called niche perfumes, which you won't find on display like you do all the other perfumes, but you will get on a perfume counter if you ask for them. So this is the other side of the chest of drawers. And just to explain that my niche fragrance journey started when I won a competition on Instagram 8 years ago. What I won was this candle and this large bottle of perfume. I'll pick up the small one just because it's easier. So this has still got some in it. So this is called Rouge Malachite, and this is from the Armani Privé range. So I won that big bottle, the candle, and a load of Armani makeup on an Instagram competition. And when I smelt that perfume, I thought I had died and gone to heaven. If heaven smelt of anything, it smells of Rouge Malachite by Armani Privé. My God, this is probably my favourite fragrance in the whole entire world. The smaller bottle I bought myself, but way before I moved in here. On sale on the Selfridges website after Christmas one year, I bought that. So that I paid for. So, yeah, that's how it all started. And then I was in London one Christmas with my friend Sharon from over at Living on a Part-Time Income, UK. And I bought, no, we didn't buy it there. I picked this up in the sale from Selfridges. Another fragrance from the same brand. And this is called Ombre Eccentrico. So that is really, really lovely as well, but more of a winter going out in the evening scent, and I don't really do that very much. And then, so the three that I've come across since then, when it comes to niche fragrances, Delana by Parfums de Marly. Again, there's only a little bit in there, and the pink box behind was what I very often used to do, was buy the refill packs. So you'd get 3 10ml and an atomizer, a spray that you just screwed into the top. Was the cheaper way to buy that perfume by a country mile. And that's what that box is behind. It's empty, but I've kept the box. So, yeah, that's that one. And then from the same brand, we have Valleja. Now, this was a much more recent purchase that I purchased myself. And I paid £35 for this on one of the Facebook groups I'm on. And that would cost you £170 to buy. So that was an absolute bargain at 35 quid. So really, really happy with that. Love it. Beast Mode perfume. As is Delana, to be fair. And I like something that packs a punch and people are going to say, oh my God, what are you wearing? That's the kind of perfume I like. And all of these do that. Baccarat Rouge 540. You may well have heard of it. Probably one of the more popular niche fragrances. Again, hardly any left. Can't bear to use it all up. Love it. Always gets compliments. A real compliment getter. Funny story with this. I was on a plane a few years ago. And the air hostess walked past me and I said, it reminded me a bit of a Shinzano advert with Rigby and Joan Collins. As she walked past, I went, Baccarat Rouge 540. She said, no, Red Temptation by Zara. Because Zara do a dupe of that called Red Temptation. And I can remember telling my friend Sharon on one of our London trips about it. And she said, oh, are we going into Zara and buying that then? I said, no, we are not. So that's the kind of perfume snob that I am. I'd rather wear nothing than, yeah. the dupes, that you know, I've got a couple of Marks and Spencer's ones downstairs. One my daughter gave me, one came in I think it was the M&S Advent. They do smell the same, but they just don't last, unfortunately. But anyway, that's that. Behind that, we have a Aldi candle in pink, which is a dupe of Tom Ford. And the other perfumes that we have here, I've got 3 small bottles of Jo Malone in that Jo Malone box. They're all vial, so we don't use those. And then I've always got to have Chanel No. 5 in my collection. Now that's the 35ml, and I've looked that up because bridging the gap now between designer fragrances and niche fragrances, like ordinary perfumes are so expensive. That is 78 quid now. And that was a Christmas present from one of my daughters. 78 quid. And for Baccarat Rouge 30ml, which is that size, that's probably about 130. Yeah, I know it's £50 more, but it just seems like the gap is not widening, because that would mean it was a bigger difference in price. Closing. The gap is closing. That's the word that I wanted. And then also behind here we have Chanel Gabrielle. Not overly keen. Perfectly fine white floral fragrance to use during the day. It doesn't really pack a punch, and it hasn't got massive longevity either, which I feel is quite sad. But No. 5 will forever be in my collection. It's an absolute classic. I do like Cocoa, and I like Noir as well by Chanel, but I don't have those in my collection at the moment. Maybe they go on the Christmas and birthday list, who knows. This Tom Ford fragrance is discontinued. Sadly, I have kept it. There is still a little bit in it, but I was gutted. I don't know why he discontinued this. I can't even read it. Look, it's in such a state. Oh, Orchid Soleil. Yeah, that's what that one is, but that's now discontinued. You can't get it. So that, my darlings, is my fragrance collection. And I've got 2 deodorants to dig out of the top. I have got a Calvin Klein scent, which came in the Boots Mother's Day box. Can't even unscrew the lid. It's got a screw lid. Can't even open it. And then I've got some eye patches. I need to put those on. And let's move those out of the way. I must remember to use those. And the Smoothing Body Exfoliant from Amelia Wright. And that's a product, it's not a scrub per se, but you put that all over your body, leave it for 3 minutes, and then you get in the shower. I really should use that up and get that done and dusted. So, yeah, and there is still some in the candle, but you can smell that candle when you walk in the bedroom. It's just divine. And then in my little hearts, I have got my Chanel Cartier watch that I got for my 40th birthday, which I think is still working, which is really weird because it's not had a new battery since 2020, and that only usually lasts for 2 to 3 years. I don't know if it is a sapphire, but there's a blue stone on the winder which is missing. That would probably cost a fortune to get replaced. I never wear it. I'm not really into stainless steel and silver, despite the fact that I've got a silver Tiffany bracelet on my arm that I've worn since time immemorial. But yeah, so I've got my watch in there, and then I have got somewhere my wedding ring. So that is my Pavé set 18 karat gold wedding ring, which doesn't fit me, and you will see from my fat hands, you can see the marks that when it no longer fitted my wedding finger, I moved it to my little finger. It also left a mark, and I haven't worn it for years, even when I was still married. Well, I am still married, but you know, when I was still living there. And it doesn't even fit on my little finger at all now. Yeah, I'm not really a big jewellery person, to be honest with you. I rarely put earrings in. I'm just trying to put that ring on so I can show you how it doesn't fit me anymore. Can't do it when I'm holding this. Yeah, and that's as far as it goes now. And the other one was a Christmas present many, many years ago, which is a white gold pave set. But you can see that also no longer fits. Right, I've got some doors slamming downstairs. I think that's everything to show you in this video. Project pan, we're going to be using it all up. Not sure about the perfumes. Not sure I can bear to use some of those up. I didn't think the watch would fit. It does, but it's super tight. That's my insurance policy. You probably wouldn't get a lot for it. They don't even sell that one anymore. Yeah, might be worth about £1,000 on the second-hand market if I was lucky. But if I can't pay the rent, I've always got that.